Hi everybody and welcome back to class. Today is Tuesday, Wednesday, December 13th, and you are watching my video update newsletter. What we're going to cover today in this newsletter is a couple updates that you'll want to know about. The first is that the following video that I'll post up here is going to be discussing pay for performance, which will include job analysis and job descriptions. We've had a little bit of conversation in class about the job analysis so far, and I think there's been a couple notable conversations that I commented on, but I would like to just ask you, if you stop in, take a look at Kishan's post. He had a pretty good, there's a pretty good discussion with both Charlie and Leora about job analysis. He made a really good point. Kishan made a really good point that I will elaborate on in my Pay for Performance mini lecture, and that has to do with data collection. And there's a pretty good conversation to look at, lots of information, and one consideration is that when you discuss job description, job analysis, it's important to consider that you have to have some sort of metric. And if you are going to have a metric to determine how well someone is performing, then you have to have data to analyze. And so that point is pretty well made in that discussion. So if you get a chance, stop by, visit it, take a look. Second thing I want to talk about is that the assignments right now is I only have 2 rough drafts. Everything is due by the 18th at 11 p.m. I'm cutting it off at then, shutting down the lockbox, shutting down the drop boxes, and that's the deadline for everything. Obviously, I'll need to have, if you expect comments on the rough draft, I'll need to have those in with some advance of the 18th, so you have some time to edit that. So I just want to let you know, have some reasonable expectations about how quickly I can get back to you and what kind of information I can provide you. If you turn it in the night of the 17th or the morning of the 18th, that's going to be very difficult for me to give you feedback on. Next is the Burger Boy questions, then the learning reflection, which the learning reflection is interesting because that is a letter that you draft to a fictional CEO. A fictional CEO could be the CEO of Circuit City, Merrill Lynch, Medtronic, could be the CEO of whoever you work for, your employer, could be the CEO of Burger Boy. But the idea is to write a memo to be able to explain the problems or issues or weak points or failures in the compensation plans that you've reviewed, and be able to discuss or propose recommendations based on what you've learned in class in order to resolve those problems. If you're going to identify problems, it's great to propose the solutions as well. So I think that's an interesting learning reflection because it is applicable. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is I still want to have phone meetings as we get towards the end to discuss in person, meet you in person and discuss on the telephone how you've been doing, questions, concerns, what you have confusion about, anything along those lines. The people who I would like to speak with, I've talked to some people on the phone, and so the people I'd like to speak with are Leora, Faith, Kishan, Lily, and Morgan. So, hey, give me a call, text me. My phone number is in my emails. Please give me a text and say, hey, Professor K, are you available at 2 o'clock? Or whenever you're available. Let's set up an appointment and talk on the phone and have an opportunity to spend a little time together. So, next is, since we've had a couple assignments in, we have had the several discussions, and you have done, or you should have done, the majority of the assignments. Tomorrow I will start sending out the performance reports, which are summaries of where you are now, point-wise, grade-wise, and based on what you've accumulated thus far, what I would see necessary for you to get on your final paper in order for you to obtain or achieve a letter grade of an A in this class. So I really want everyone to be able to obtain an A, but obviously the points have to be there, and I would like to give you some feedback that will show you what you've earned thus far, tell you why, and tell you what you need to do in order to obtain an A. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and I will see you in the mini lecture.